Hey, what's up everybody? I'll show you guys the box for this first and then read off everything on it, and it has pictures of all the Genesis games that come with this system, including the Capcom ones, so I'll read off which ones you get. And then, before I show you the system, I'll add a little info to this thing that they're not telling you about. So anyways, here's the box here, and on the front there, I don't know why they did that, but it's just saying 80 built-in games, and it gives you the idea because it says Sega Genesis that it's 80 Sega Genesis games. It's not. You're getting 40 Sega, or mostly Sega out of that 40, and then a few Capcom games, one of them being Street Fighter II, The New Challengers. The rest of the 40 games says in the book like 40 arcade games, and that's what they're saying on the review sites for this system for actual paid reviewers. Saying, oh, you get 40 more arcade games. No, they're not, man. They're like those cheap ass games that you get on those plug and play systems that's got like 125 games for $10. They are really cheesy, and it's a little bit of everything. Like I tried a Mahjong one. The music or whatever the hell was playing in the background was annoying as hell. I mean, just really low quality. But on the Sega games and Capcom ones, they give you some really good games on this for anybody that doesn't know anything about putting games on it. So anyways, on games, you get Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage, Streets of Rage 2, Streets of Rage 3, Shadow Dancer, Shinobi, Return of the Ninja Master, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers, which is the Capcom one, and Mega Man, The Willy Wars, and what I heard on the Mega Man game, for anybody that knows on Genesis, on stuff they had back in the day, there was an add-on you can get, like a cartridge, to where you can get online with that puppy and download games to the cartridge. And Mega Man Willy Wars was one of them. And basically it's Mega Man 1, 2, and 3. Then Vector Man 2, The Ooze, Chaka Khan, Alex Kidd, Alien Storm, Arrow Flash, Altered Beast, Bonanza Brothers Columns 3, Comic Zone, Crackdown, Decap Attack, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Echo the Dolphin 2, Echo Jr., E-SWAT, Eternal Champions, Fatal Labyrinth, Flicky, Gain Ground, Golden Axe 2, Golden Axe 3, Jewel Master, and Kid Chameleon. Now on what they're describing on all the little features on this thing. It just says the Ultimate Portable Game Player contains 37 classic Sega Genesis games, 3 Capcom. Download and play more games via SD card. They're not telling you where to download or anything, so I'll let you guys know on that in a minute here. So anyways, you got your SD card slot. They must have done this thing before, probably with fewer games on it. It says larger 2.8 inch screens, so you're almost getting a 3-inch screen there. Just dial type volume. Mini USB, as it charges via USB cord from your computer or other USB device that can charge. Does have video out, which is cool. If it didn't have that, I may not have gotten this. I'm not a big fan of handheld systems, even that I am a collector, but it has to do with my eyes. I have a hard time playing on such a small screen. But the video out, what it is a just video and then mono. It's not stereo sound, just mono. And you just plug it in like a headphone jack into the system, and then you can hook this puppy up to your big screen TV and play your games. And power switch, just slider type power switch. Has one little built-in speaker, hence it's mono. and it's a little bitty speaker, so when you turn it up full blast, it doesn't sound that great, but I tried some headphones on it. It sounds really good. And the earphone jack or headphone is on the bottom. Rechargeable battery pack. That's what they're not telling you. They're saying it's rechargeable battery, which on this, really cool, it's not built in to where once that battery is dead, this is a throwaway thing. Nah. And I'm guessing on this because it looks just like it, and I gotta find where I set my damn video glasses. I'd swear it takes the same Nokia cell phone battery that my video glasses do. It looks just like it. This 3.7 volt cell phone battery. And it says can play up to 5 hours fully charged, which that's believable with a cell phone battery. And what you get is your portable player, instruction manual, charging cable, and then your battery. You don't get anything else like the AV cable, so pretty cool. Now on the download thing, I've watched a few videos on this, not for like people like me doing reviews or you guys, but ones that are paid reviewers. One of the guys was saying like their website eventually was going to have it to where you could download games from their website, which is at games. So far, nothing. But you don't have to wait for that because this thing's basically like an emulator. Just plug that SD card in your computer, and my favorite site's ROM Hustler. Good emulation site, and what's nice is the files. It's not just one of each game. They put it into zipped folders, so whatever game you click on, if there's multiple types or multiple regions, you get them all in one folder, which is nice. You can play the Japanese, Euro, or American. And on those files, I've had some that have either not wanted to play, which just go to another site, or ones to where it's been a little bit glitchy on the gameplay. Otherwise, the ones that do work really good. And on the glitchiness, so far it's just been unfortunately Booger Man and Space Harrier 2, my all-time favorite games on the Genesis for Space Harrier 2. It acts like it's doing alright, but Booger Man, I didn't go as far as to actually load up the game and play it. I saw it right at the intro screen. And it's like everything else looked good, but Booger Man. When he'd be jumping back and forth or whatever, or running up to the toilets, and then you jump back and forth to either start the game or do options, he's all choppy on the graphics. Same thing on Space Harrier 2. But that one, noticed a little bit of choppiness in the background for the actual level graphics, and that's right at the startup when you're getting ready to choose what level you want to start. And then same thing, the guy, it's all choppy on him. So, I don't know what's up with that. I'll keep trying different sites. Otherwise, if it doesn't like the game, it might give like a little glitch, like a couple little dots or whatever. And sometimes, usually it will make it to where you can press the menu thing and go back to the main menu to select another game. I've only had a few of them where it's glitched bad enough to where I gotta turn off the system and turn it back on and start over, which is no big deal. Otherwise, like I say, just blank screen, won't load up at all. It will act like it's loading as when you're doing it from the SD card, it will show like a loading bar. The games that are built in, they load up automatic, man. No load time whatsoever, hardly. And on the card size, right now I got an 8 gig one in it. Working great, so it doesn't say how big of an SD card you can put in it. And let's see here. I'm gonna unplug my system from charging just to show you here. First, I thought it was gonna take one of those thumb type drive, or I don't know what they call it. It's called a fingernail drive or whatever, like what you'd have in your cell phone, those little tiny ones where you need this full-size adapter to put that into and then put the adapter into your system. Nah, this takes full-size SD card. Standard one. I think I got this 8 gig one for, jeez, I know it was less than $10 at Big Lots. You can get these pretty damn cheap now. And it locks into place just like it would on one of these cheap cameras or whatever. So it's not going to fall out. It's in there good. Anyway, I'll show you the system here. See that there's a panel there and a screw right below my fingers. You just take that screw out, that panel comes off, then you can take out the cell phone battery and put it in a new one. And then front of it here. Recommend blowing your screen up full size here. Got your direction pad there, and then 6-button style. It is at a slant there, and I know they had to do that just to make room, but easy enough to get used to the buttons. And then above the direction pad is your menu button right here, and then your start pause. And on the bottom, headphone, earphone jack there, on-off switch, USB card slot. There's your jack for your video out to TV for composite video, and then your charging jack there to plug it in. There is a little light next to it that's multicolor. When it's on, it turns green to tell you that it's got power. When you're charging it, it turns red, and supposedly when it's all charged up, which I haven't completely charged this puppy yet, it's supposed to turn yellow. And then just below the buttons here, there's another little red light. That will start flashing occasionally or constantly when your battery starts getting too weak. And then typical volume control there. Move this box here, and I will turn this puppy on and show you how it does. Now that I got some games loaded onto it. In fact, I'll show you one of the Japanese ones just to show you that it is multi-region when you go through the SD card. So, get all this crap on automatic here on my camera, and hopefully it won't act like it's got frickin' Alzheimer's again. As this is the second vid I've done, man. I did a vid of this last night after playing around with it, and it wanted to be a pain in the ass. It screwed up my video. Here. Just focus it on it. I don't think it matters how fast a computer you have, man. This autofocus is just crappy. Okay, there we go. That looks a little better. Okay, as you can see there, 9-page menu. There's the first list, and then you just use the direction pad to scroll through, and then page 9 is your SD card. I'll just hit back on this to go to that. And once you get to that, it's not showing anything right now. You got to press the start pause button, and then it will scan the SD card or search for games or whatever. And it does it pretty damn fast. I don't have a ton of games on it, but like I say on that site there, yeah, it's ghouls and ghosts, man, just one after another, because it had a whole bunch of files for the different regions and just different types or variations of the game. So you go through this. Let's see, find one that I know that works good. I'll show you guys the Japanese Mega Drive version of Ninja Gaiden. That game's pretty freaking sick. So you just select the game by going up and down on that, and then when you find the game you want, press the start button. Does its loading thing. That one. And when you want to get out of the game, you just hit the menu button and it goes back to the first page. So let's see, I'll find another one here. Oh, another one that was showing glitchy. Lightning Force. It's playable, but the intro where it shows the spaceship flying by and shooting stuff right at the top of the screen. And it's not just this. That one seems to be glitchy on all my emulators on the computer too. But it's just the top of it. It's got like this row of dots, or maybe 2 rows, depending on which ROM that you load up. But at least that one's still playable once you get into the actual game. I don't think I've tested that one. Nope. This thing definitely teaches you patience, especially when you got about freaking 5 or more files for each game. Down to the end here. I think this one worked. There we go. Try that. Say that the little speaker on it's not the best. It sounds better to me, but recording it like this, it's gonna probably sound worse. I think they just expect you to have earphones or headphones. Let's see, I think Thunder Force 3 worked. Show you some Thunder Force 3. Okay, now I'll do in the games it's built in here. I'll show you guys that Street Fighter thing. Okay, this is the Capcom Street Fighter. And I say they load up real fast. Pretty cool. I'll show you guys Sonic the Hedgehog, because that one I noticed on some emulators on the computer, when you're hauling ass with Sonic, the screen will get a little choppy, like it can't keep up. This plays really smooth. Japanese version of Splatterhouse 3. It's a pretty badass game. graphics. Anyways, on other places where you guys might be able to find this thing, and I think it definitely depends on where you live. Other than a Dollar General, Family Dollar, possibly. My store, all they had was 2 of the flashback systems left. They had a spot for either this or the other Sega Genesis, but all sold out. So it kind of depends. Walgreens? I think it was Star Blazers 1969 was saying that they had them at his Walgreens for $25, and because he's got the card for the store or whatever, he got a discount and got it down to like $16, $17. He's freaking lucky. My Walgreens, 1 flashback system, not the flashback 4. They had probably one left from last year that they found in their storeroom, a flashback 3. Those bastards want $51.95. My Walgreens sucks. And my CVS pharmacy used to have like the game clones, mostly for like the Wii clones or whatever. When I checked this time, they didn't have any, and none of these retro systems whatsoever. So, as far as I'm concerned, right off CVS. On other pharmacies, those are the 2 main ones I have in town that occasionally would have that kind of stuff. If you got other types, check them out, man. Or grocery stores. Like I say, last year, my Smith's Food and Drug, Kroger, Fry's, they both had the Flashback 3 and also that cheaper Sega system to where it was the first one where it looks like Sonic's head and really crappy looking controllers, and I think it had like 20 or 30 games on it. Like I say, this time either he didn't get a shipment in, if he was getting anything else, or just got the Ataris and nothing else. And I don't know if they'll have them, I haven't checked. And I can't remember if I mentioned this in the video where I showed the flashback or not. For all you guys and gals that have like Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, N64, of all places, get on Walmart's website, do a search under video games, and just type in retro. The drop-down list should be enough to tell you what I'm talking about here, man. They must have gotten a contract through Retrobit or something, because it's mostly Retrobit stuff, but they got all kinds of controllers for the Genesis, the Nintendo systems. They've got the cables as an AV cables for N64 and Genesis and whatnot. They've got power supplies. No games, just accessories. On systems, so far the only ones that I could find were not Retrobit. Maybe it was Retrobit. I don't know. They're really, really just, they're like a square little plastic box, really cheaply made. They had them for $19.95, and all they play is the NEX cartridges. I think they're Retrobit. They may be another brand, but they're really cheap. I've got one. Not only is the emulation crappy, they break really easy. I already had to repair mine. But they may be getting other stuff, hopefully by Yobo or Retron or whatever, like the Retron 3. On other stuff they had that I thought was cool, and this was for Super Nintendo. They had one where cartridge adapter looks like the Game Genie. You plug it into the top of your Super Nintendo or clone system, and it allows you to play original NES cartridges. Even better, and I don't really care about getting it because I have this now, but for anybody that's actually got some of the Mega Drive cartridges, they got one for Sega that plugs into the top of your Super Nintendo and allows you to play Genesis and Mega Drive games. It's got a region switch on it. I think it said 4 different regions for US and PAL games. And all this stuff, some of it definitely cheapo on how it's made, but price-wise, the only things that I saw that were pricey, they had some of the retro-style USB controllers for your computer, one for NES, one for Super Nintendo, and I think one for the Genesis. They were like $30 a piece. Those you can find elsewhere a lot cheaper. The regular controllers, the most expensive one I saw for like NES or Genesis or Super Nintendo was under $10. I think the N64 ones, same thing, man. Just really reasonable on the price. So, right now, man, unless it changed in the last few days, it was showing everything is new and online only. You're not going to find this stuff in the stores yet, at least so far. But, man, if they get into the stores, cool. Be able to at least find just cheaper aftermarket controllers for your retro systems if you're in an area where you can't find the original hardware. So, cool enough. Now my big freaking rant. Why in the goddamn freaking hell does Walmart have this stuff, but I go over to GameStop and they're like, duh, we don't know what that is. And they're talking about getting retro stuff in, like old school games again on cartridges and whatnot, but it's like, why don't they have it now? Walmart beat them on that, of all places. And I don't like Walmart, but cool that they got stuff. So, I'm giving this thing a thumbs up. It is definitely cool. I'm happy paying $40 for it. I feel that I got a good deal. Even that I might have been able to get it cheaper. It's just my area. There's no way I could have waited till Black Friday. If they weren't sold out already, I probably still wouldn't get one because people are just buying these puppies up in my area. So, catch y'all later.